What is going on, everyone, and welcome to the John Squared Game Show, episode 34. My name's John Townsend. Joining me is John Rayfield. John, how's your week, bro?
Oh, dude, past couple weeks have been insane, just ridiculous.
In what terms?
I'm tired. Oh, I'm just tired. There's just been a lot going on. I'm exhausted.
Yeah, the tweet over the weekend where it's just straight up not having a good time. I was like, my first thought was you're playing Sifu because that has been my weekend.
Yeah. Well, that
That
was
that
part of
is
it,
It's like nothing's going right in my like real life, and then I go to video games and I'm getting my ass kicked there
and that
too.
also hurts, dude. I when I tweeted that, I was laying on my floor, just taking 5 minutes to just take a breath. I was just so defeated. I was like, "Fuck,
it
I
it
can't even get to my
really
bed."
it really like it truly be like that.
I was gonna say the
Uh,
same thing.
well, I think you did too. We won some good bets for the Super Bowl. Shout out the LA Rams.
Won some
Uh,
good bets yesterday too, and Monday.
yeah,
Shout out gambling.
my and now that football's done, my gambling is done most likely. At least at the rate that I was going. That's done until September. Um, but yeah, that. How'd you feel about the game?
Better than I expected. I expected the
Really?
defense to just uh, Rams defense specifically to kill the Bengals. I think the second half, it wasn't as close as the score made it seem. There was an extra 7 points that the Bengals shouldn't have gotten,
Yeah.
but, you know,
Right. Yeah, I think the just the disaster that the Rams had coming out of the first half was giving up the touchdown and the interception, or in what some order.
it
Um,
was that specific order,
but
75-yard touchdown to an interception.
Yeah, I started to feel like at the end of the first half, I was like, oh, the Rams are gonna come out and they're just gonna blow them. I just felt like it was gonna end up being like 38 to like 17 or something like that. But yeah, it was a good, exciting final couple minutes. Um, Cooper
I
Cup
had
came through in the clutch for me, so shout out Cooper Cup, Super Bowl
I
MVP.
I had a parlay I forgot that I set earlier in the week for $165 to hit because of that game, but it was I, uh, talking about the oh my god, I forgot what I was gonna say. We're talking about the second half.
The
Fuck me.
ending.
Oh, I had a bet. I think the final score is 24-17. Yeah, yeah, 24-17, did not hit. It was 24-20, I think.
23-20.
That's what it was. Yeah, it would have been $505.
Hmm.
So that's pain.
Yeah, can't win them all. All right, so we got some news to talk about, including some Horizon Forbidden West. We'll give an overview of some of the reviews and talk about that. But before we get into that, I'd like to remind you guys that we launched our Patreon a few weeks ago. The Patreon has three tiers. The first tier gets you access to the monthly gaming book club episode and one entry into our monthly gaming gift card giveaway. Tier 2 gets you everything in Tier 1, except for you get 5 entries and you get to write into our weekly mailbag segment. Tier 3 gets you everything in the first two tiers, except you get 10 entries into the gift card giveaway and weekly shoutouts. If you're not interested in paying, then liking, subbing, or leaving a review on whatever platform you watch or listen to us on would be appreciated. And yeah, any support anyone's willing to give just means the world to us. So appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Thanks for sticking with us. Uh,
If you don't sub to the Patreon, our dogs will piss, shit, and fart all over our houses. So we beg
um,
you to
not
please
eat.
stop them.
Yes. All right. So we'll jump into the news real quick, and we're gonna actually start with Horizon Forbidden West. I'm gonna give. So I pulled like three reviews that are, I guess, a little bit different. To give like a general overview of what everyone's feeling so far. Obviously, we have not got early. We're not anywhere near big enough to get a review copy, so we're just stuck on the outside.
Soon.
We're like the Squidward looking out the window, watching SpongeBob and Patrick getting to play. Um,
Yeah, unfortunately.
so the first one is from Jordan Midler at VGC, who gives Horizon a 5 out of 5. Says Horizon Forbidden West is an incredible game set in a world that we wanted to return to many hours after the credits rolled. It has an incredible open world, best in class combat or bow combat, a gripping story, and Ashley Birch shines, who plays Aloy. And then the only negative that they had to say was there's some open world clutter. When you open up the map and you just see like it looked like someone puked pinpoints everywhere. So
What I love.
uh, that could be a positive or a negative for some people depending on who's reviewing. Oh, we have Simon Cardy at IGN who gave a 9 out of 10. Says a triumphant combination of enthralling combat, top tier creature and character design, and a captivating open world. Horizon Forbidden West is an absolute blast and a fantastic showcase for the power of the PS5. Although the return of a couple familiar series trappings and a noticeable lack of freeform climbing never threatens to derail the enjoyment, it does leave it falling frustratingly short of something revolutionary. That so the score is a 9 out of 10, but that
Yeah.
statement like it kind of bummed me out a little bit because a few weeks ago I was predicting that this was going to win Game of the Year because I thought that they got there, and maybe I'll feel different whenever I finally get to play the game. But um, I just thought that that's where we were going, and obviously the game still is sitting at like an 88 or 89 on Metacritic or something. Um, so obviously it's great a lot, at least from reviews. But I when I read that I was like, dang. I,
I didn't think it was gonna have like Assassin's Creed level like climbing and shit. Just based off like the trailers they showed, it looks like there's still points of interest that you have to use.
yeah.
So it's still gonna be limited in some capacity. At least that's what I expected.
So actually, I have two more reviews. Philip Hornshaw at GameSpot gave it an 8 out of 10. He says the good quests are often populated by interesting characters who provide relatable stakes. Many map filling activities are well designed and diverse, making them worth doing. Once you're equipped and well upgraded, combat proves lots of tactical options and can get intense. Absolutely gorgeous on PS5, and tons of great facial captures help the characters feel real. The bad is too much to keep track of, such that you can ignore a lot of weapons, gear, and skills. Stealth is much more rewarding than combat, which forces you to scramble and get frustrating. Some, are in parentheses, mostly minor technical issues like texture pop or stuck animations, and Aloy isn't nearly as interesting as everyone around her. Um, which,
That's the worst part.
yeah, listening to reviews, watching whatever, like just or listening to podcasts about people talk about Aloy, and even in Horizon Zero Dawn, they said that she wasn't interesting. I felt I liked her. But I think that like my favorite anime character is Tanjiro, and it just feels like people. I just like when characters are like purely good. And it's probably just because I'm not, and I need someone else to show me a moral compass. And I don't know. I don't know what it is about. I've always really liked Aloy. And so maybe this a lot of people who didn't like her in the first one just continuously don't think she's very interesting in this one. And so I'm like, obviously we don't know because we haven't got to play that, and next week we'll for sure have more to talk about. But the last one, and this was a controversial one. I mean, people were sending death threats to this guy, which is really corny.
Fucking
Uh,
stupid.
Joab Gilroy at Survivor gave it a 6.5 out of 10. The good is utterly breathtaking visuals, fantastic world building, chock full of three-dimensional characters. Lance Reddick should play Thrawn. The bad. The traversal is singular in its solutions. Combat is too easily optimized. There's a distinct lack of polish that I'm accustomed to from Sony first party titles, and the focus is too quick to dictate your next move. And so, what he means by that, obviously, I read all these reviews too, just in case I needed clarification on it. Um, when you're in the like trying to solve environmental puzzles, um, if you have to like drop to a ledge or something, if like as you're figuring it out, you'll I guess too early Aloy will like, oh, maybe I could drop over that ledge there and just say things like that, or oh, maybe I can climb up here and get to the next point where I need to go, instead of just letting you figure it out. um like how The Last of Us would be like click L3 to get a hint or something like that. They just do it, and he knocked points off for that.
Could
So
could that be an accessibility thing though? Like they're trying to just make it. I don't know. Maybe there's like maybe it is too much, and eventually they'll update it with like an option to turn that off. But like
yeah, right.
that
I
that to me sounds like it's trying to make it easier for people that like might struggle. You know?
Yeah, so that's why I think The Last of Us did it so well, where it was just you can click this button to get the hint. Where if you were
Yeah.
taking too long to figure something out, they'd be like, click this and we'll give you a hint. Um, but yeah, maybe something like that would be coming in a patch or something. So reading or listening to these reviews or whatever, um, I know that we had a podcast late last year where we talked about if review scores matter. um, does this get you any more excited? Does it get you any less excited? Like, where are you at with this now?
I stand in the same spot I did for that episode. I think review scores are. I don't pay any attention to them. It's just an opinion. You know, it doesn't mean anything to me. I honestly, this is the first of the reviews I've seen. Uh, I always do. I don't for games like this, and I'm excited for. I don't read the reviews. I just play it. I did the same thing with Sifu. Um, my only issue with any of these is the last one, the 6.5 out of 10. That should be 6.9. He had a chance.
All right, we'll send him a death threat from the John Square Twitter
Jesus
account.
Christ. But
um,
no, I mean, it's our review is someone's opinion, you know, and that opinion could be different than
yeah,
yours. So if you're interested in playing the game, play the game. Form your own opinion. Who gives a shit what these people have to
it's
say?
it's it's really just like the people who wanted their plastic box that they are loyal to have a game that was in the 90s on a Metacritic so they could post a screenshot on Twitter and tell Xbox to suck it. Um,
But that's
it's
all I've seen is people is fucking nerds talking about the frame rate and shit. Like just shut the fuck up and
whoa,
play the game.
whoa, whoa.
No,
That's not
you too. I've had enough of
no,
hearing about fucking frame rates and shit.
no.
Just play the game.
Um, so the Digital Foundry review, they don't give scores or anything like that, but they did say it is almost perfectly, flawlessly 60 frames per second in the performance mode. They had nothing but good things to say about it. There are so in the Survivor review where he said that there's a distinct lack of polish that I'm accustomed to, and then even in the GameSpot one where they said that there were minor technical issues. Um, I'm wondering if that's just glitches that they are going to clean up for the day one patch, or if there really is just some like lack of polish. It'll be interesting to see when that comes out on Friday,
The
where we stand
the
with
one
that.
thing I because 30 frames per second was trending. Or was in like suggested like trending thing. So I clicked on it
Yeah.
because I'd like to upset myself. And it was people talking about this game and how on PS4 it's 30 frames per second.
Duh.
It's well, that's what I was saying. Is like, who fucking cares? You have a PS4. Like, no disrespect, and I get it. People can't get PS5s, can't afford them, whatever. But like, you can't expect 120 frames per second on a PS4. The
You would
fucking
have
thing would explode.
you would have to you would have to run that game at like 480 to get
Yeah,
anywhere near 60 frames per second
like
on a
it's
PS4.
what did you expect? And it's the same with like I don't know if this made it did, so I'm not going to talk about it yet. But there's another game we're going to talk about. It's the same thing with 30 frames per second on a Series S, and it's like, just play the games.
Yeah.
Play it, and if you're having fun, you're having fun.
Yeah.
Stop worrying about all the technical shit. If it's
Um,
smooth and it looks nice, then who fucking cares?
well, so like we don't have to get into all of it, but there are certain games where like a first person shooter or any multiplayer game where you do want higher than
Look,
30, but for
when it's the quick reactions.
yes, but for a game like this, like I all day today um I've kind of been going back and forth on whether I want to play at the 30 frame per second mode just to and maybe I probably will dip into it for a little bit just because the fidelity greatly increases. You're playing at native 4K. You're playing there's so many more um just graphical fidelity features that are added into that mode just so I there's a chance that I play some of that game at 30, but yeah, I at the end of the day, um one of the greatest games of all time, Breath of the Wild, is at 30 frames per second and like 15 in the Lost Woods. So if it's good, then it's good, regardless of frame rate. Um,
I mean, that's my as long as it's like whatever that game was that we were playing a couple weeks ago. Uh, when it's like 10 to 15 frames, then it's like no, when I start to notice it, then it's an issue.
sure.
I can't really I can make a distinction hardly between 30 and 60. When it's like 10, then it's like okay, you got to step it up.
Well,
If it's
10
not
is
that, then
just
give a shit.
unplayable. But yeah. Um, this is kind of included in this, but before we jump into that, Steve-O's up in the chat. It says, "What's up, boys? What's up, Steve-O?" And shout out Brave
Up,
Toad
baby
for the
boy.
Twitch Prime sub. That's his fifth month subscribing on Twitch. So
Shout out.
shout out to Brave Toad. Uh, Guerrilla Games, the developers of Horizon Forbidden West, are introducing a play and plant program. It
This
says
is fucking sick.
yeah. So this is from the PlayStation blog. It says Horizon Forbidden West Play and Plant program. For the release of Horizon Forbidden West, we want to do something to help nature with you. Just like how Aloy fights to save the Earth in the game, we can do something together to help our planet. Play Horizon Forbidden West and unlock the Reached the Daunt trophy before March 25th, and we, in partnership with Arbor Day Foundation, will plant a tree across the country to help complete three different reforestation projects. So let's grab our controllers and play for the planet. Yeah, this is really cool. I don't know how
Yeah.
far into the game this is, so we'll have to see
Hopefully,
when we
I
get
would
there.
assume it's the way that they kind of. I mean, the way I read it is like this is pretty early on in the game. Like they're trying to make it so that they plant more trees. You know, uh, at
Yeah,
least I would hope so. If this is like at the end of the game, then
you have to
that's
beat the
funny.
game.
Yeah, it's funny, but it's fucked up. It's a good little prank.
Yeah, so that's really cool. I just wanted to throw them to shout it out. To add on to the
I
point we were talking earlier. Um, oh, go ahead. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
More games should do this. More games should do stuff like this where like they help to, instead of just adding to like plastic pollution and shit.
Yeah,
Like do something beneficial.
yeah. It would be cool to see for sure, especially like the environment and like the just the you know that's such a big part of the world in this game. Saving the planet and stuff like that, and not in like this. Aloy is saving it from like machines corrupting everything, and this is obviously different, but it's in the same vein, I would say. So it's cool to see.
Yeah.
Stevo says there's no point for me to play at 30 frames per second because I have a 1080p monitor. Right. Um, the benefits of playing in 4K are so limited. Um, because it would be like super sampled, so you're taking a bigger image and shrinking it, so like all the pixel density would shrink into the 1080p screen, which would give you it would look better, but not enough to play at half the frame rate. So yeah, you're right. All right, next up, we have Cyberpunk 2077. Next gen is here. This is from Jordan Gerblick at Games Radar. Before we jump into this, John, what are the chances you play this year?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it because there's a free trial. I figured that I'm gonna, take advantage of that. I'm gonna try to take advantage of it on both like consoles too. I don't think
You're gonna try
value.
to beat it. You're gonna try to beat it in 5 hours.
Oh yeah,
Um,
well I'm gonna get partway through on Xbox, and then take that knowledge, speed run the first half, and then do the
nice,
rest of it
nice.
in PlayStation.
All right. This is from Jordan Gerblick at Games Radar. So Cyberpunk 2077 patch 1.5 is live now with a number of big changes, with the headliner being the new gen update for PS5 and Xbox Series X/S. The patch adds ray tracing and local light shadows, 60 frames per second gameplay, and dynamic 4K scaling, and DualSense haptic feedback with the PS5 version. If you've been waiting for a big update to improve Cyberpunk 2077's visuals and performance on new gen consoles, go download the patch. Just a reminder, you need to do so manually on PS5. So even if you have the game installed, you have to go into the store and look for it rather than it just being a update for Xbox. So if whatever platform you're playing on, it's going to be different on how you upgrade. Alongside the new gen update is a new demo that lets you try out the upgraded game on PS5 and Xbox Series X for free before committing to buying the full game. The new gen exclusive demo lets you play through the opening 5 hours of the game, and if you like what you play, your progress will carry over to the full game, which is really cool. This is something that they had to do because everyone uh, kind of
Was pissed.
yeah, and
Yeah.
felt duped. So this feels like a we promise, and we'll even prove it to you. Um, although
I
real quick, I was
Yeah.
watching some gameplay of it earlier, and there were still like noticeable bugs. Like they were at a bar, and one of the characters named Panam, who you get to fuck, she's like holding her phone and it's like her hands like this and then the phone is like this and it's like sinking through the bar and then she like pick up a drink and then the drink goes like halfway through the bar, so it's not fully, like in the clear yet, but it does look a lot better. It is a noticeable upgrade so far in performance and stuff like that. So yeah, go ahead.
I so this was the other thing that was trending 30 frames per second today. Is apparently on Xbox Series S, this is hitting 30 frames per second and people are pissed because they said, well, this is a next gen console. This should be running at 60.
It's running
It's
at
like,
1440p though, which is
well,
that's
if it looks
good.
good,
That's
this was my point earlier. If it looks good, shut the fuck up.
yeah.
Stop whining. They're fucking nerds. They're nerds and they're virgins.
I I if you're like, I don't know, if you own one in Europe and you felt like you were like lied to or something, I would understand being upset a little bit, but like you the amount of like, so the people that own Xbox Series S's are people who are using it as, or they're either one um not like super into games, they're casual gamers, or two are using it as a secondary console or just a Game Pass box. Um,
It's the
uh,
Halo machine.
yes, so the, if you bought if you are, if you love technology, if it's like if I, because I love going into like settings and I love like ray tracing and stuff like that, and it's like if I bought a 1060 and expected ray tracing or got mad that it wasn't performing at like 120 frames per second or something. You if you actually purchased the Xbox Series S and you love technology, and maybe that's the only thing you get your hands on, that's an exception, I guess. But if you expected more, then that's kind of on you. Like it's not. This was the casual gamer or the Game Pass box machine. It was not meant to be your hardcore gaming machine. So, and running the game at 1440, Cyberpunk is like that. That's really impressive. I think
I
even at 30 frames per second. So
like I had an issue with my Series S already because I tried running just Mass Effect at like the highest settings, and my console had to be completely restored to like 480 because it was just
did you get
it
that
was
fixed
over.
yet?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I got it fixed that night, and then I had to go back in, and I just have to have it at 720 now. I can't up it anymore. But
It's
like,
not fixed.
it's fixed enough for me. I mean, it still looks good, especially because I have a decent TV, so it's fine. But man, I don't know. 30 frames per second isn't bad. Like, it looks fine.
Yeah,
I
I always would prefer 60. I almost always would prefer the graphics toned down a little bit to get there. Um, but it's cool to see because it seems like so far that like on these the current gen on PS5 and Xbox Series X, anything with ray tracing and 4K and stuff the most we're getting is a 30 frames per second mode. And
yeah.
I love those features. So sometimes, especially in a game like Horizon Forbidden West, that might be enough to have me play to choose the 30 frames per second mode just because of all the other features. Like ray tracing makes such a big difference, like arguably in a open world or just a single player game, as much of a difference in my opinion as the 60 frames per second, because the lighting just looks so much more realistic and it just looks so good. So
See, I'm kind of the opposite. Like when it comes to Horizon, I'm gonna play it at 60 because of like my play style. It's more like I don't know, aggressive. I need to react
yeah,
quicker.
yeah,
That's not to
right.
say like I still stand by my point. I'll play it at 30. I have no problem with that.
Yeah, but that having the option is really cool, and
Yeah.
that's that's just hopefully we see more of these things, and Insomniac actually does it perfect, and Insomniac has um the ray tracing's toned down a little bit. They give you options where like you can have ultra like fidelity 4K, like native 4K at 30 frames per second, or you have like a lower res, lighter ray tracing,
Yeah.
and stuff like that at 60 frames per second, or you can just have like a really solid performance mode, also at 60. Um, they're just doing it right, and I just feel like PlayStation Studios is like on another level with the PS5 so far, and I really can't wait to see how this game looks on my OLED. But yeah, all right. So Cyberpunk itself, I don't know if I'm gonna get to it. I want to try it again. I just didn't love the game enough to want to go back to it. I did beat this game when it came out. I played it on PS5. I played the PS4 version on PS5. Um, it crashed every like 3 hours, but that was really it. It wasn't like I didn't have anything that was like um in an auto save. So once I closed it and opened back up, I was right where I was, and the SSD makes loading you load in really quick. So it wasn't terrible. I liked the game. I really did. I thought it was good. It wasn't the revolutionary game that they were selling it to be. Bless you. Um, but it was still really good, and I would recommend it to anybody, especially because I you could probably pick it up for $20 at this point. I thought for sure it'd end up on Game Pass, and I think it still will at some point, but I don't know if I liked it enough to replay it again, and maybe it's just because I have so many games to play right now, but maybe at some point I'll jump back into this and see the updates for myself. But for now, I'm gonna be I got too many games to
You
play.
do you think it ends up on Game Pass or a PlayStation service first?
Game Pass for sure. Um, it, yeah, I think it's Game Pass. They are more
I don't,
aggressive with that sort of thing.
what I'll say is I disagree, but I don't have a reason for why.
Okay,
I just
I accept that.
yeah.
All right, next up is a game we're going to talk about a little bit later when we talk about what games we're playing. But for now,
Yeah, fuck this game.
Sifu accessibility and difficulty patches are coming. This is from Vicky Blake at Games Radar. is the Sifu developer Slowclap has told an industry accessibility advocate that the studio is committed to bringing new accessibility features to the fighting game, including difficulty modes. Though co founder
And
Pierre Tarno stopped short of confirming when exactly the new features might be available. Can I play that? Steve Saylor. That's the name of the whatever we want to call his. He has like a little um,
blog.
company blog. I don't know what to call it
Is
exactly.
it for like? Is it like accessibility? Is it the?
Yes, yep.
Okay.
So it's called Can I Play That? His name's Steve Saylor, who is legally blind. He tweeted,
Oh,
quote, breaking news that the post-launch updates will include better captions, high contrast mode. Right now, only works on PC following a bug on console, and perhaps most interestingly, difficulty modes. Sailor explained that quote both easier and harder modes are on the way, not to be or not dissimilar to Metroid Dread update. Um, yeah, this is really good for people who um, are playing the game and are stuck, were intimidated and didn't want to play it at all because of how difficult it is, or are crazy people and want a bigger challenge. Um,
not me. No,
yeah,
the last one.
really cool to see them implementing the high contrast, better caption, stuff like that. Um, Steve, I know he does stuff with Kind of Funny and Alana Pierce, I believe. Or maybe that's not the same
He,
person. Um,
I'm gonna. I have a computer in front of me. I believe. Um, it's who I'm thinking of.
it's really cool to see people
Yes,
implementing this though. For
he. Keep going. Sorry.
just for people who like, I am progressing in Sifu, and even when this comes, I'm gonna keep it at the same difficulty. But for people who bought the game or wanted to support developers or are interested in this sort of game, and it's increasingly frustrating to just continuously die over and over again and stuff, and or whatever. It's cool when games invite more people in, and that's just exactly what this is. So I think what Slow Clap is doing here is really cool.
Um, yeah. So I. It's not who I was thinking of, but um, it is. It's. I hope we get to a point where like this stuff just comes out when the game releases. Like I feel like there shouldn't be backlash for accessibility. It should just be the game should be accessible from the jump. And I get developers making the game they want to like make, and I'm not going to argue against that. But I feel like there should always be options so that everybody can play the games.
Yeah, this one. So like, this is an indie game essentially, just with like
Yeah.
PlayStation backing it. So I understand this stuff coming a little bit later, but we are seeing the industry standard with Ubisoft, with PlayStation, with Xbox. They are starting to implement the stuff at launch, and um, I can't off the top of my head I can't remember. I don't know if it's Can I Play That or another site that I'm thinking of, but they'll give accessibility reviews, which is really cool. And um, yeah, I just feel like the more people talk about this stuff, the more people speak out on it. Having advocates and people in the community, like Steve Saylor, advocating and stuff, it's really cool to see, and it's even cooler to see people, developers responding and actually including this stuff. So, um, but yeah, obviously you're gonna have the weirdo, like gatekeeping people who don't want people to have an easy mode. Um, Although it literally does not affect them at all
Affect them.
whatsoever.
Yeah.
Um, if you if somebody else enjoying themselves playing a game because it's a little bit easier for them really hurts your feelings like that, get fucked. you're just truly a weirdo. There's really not
Fucking
much
go
else to say about
outside,
that.
bud.
Yeah. Speak to other humans. It's sometimes good
Lay
for
in the
you.
grass. Get out of the fucking
Um,
basement.
yeah.
Tell your mom
So
to take a break. Stop making you fucking pizza rolls.
have a vegetable, dude. It's really
Eat some
it's not
fucking
that hard.
broccoli, pal.
Yeah. Next up, we have a game called Martha is Dead. It's censored on
Oh
PlayStation
damn.
platforms.
R.I.P.
Yeah, rip Martha. So I
Be different.
did you see this?
I saw there was controversy. I didn't pay attention to it.
Um, I want you to go on Twitter and look this up. Um, and we can get
Us.
a live reaction because I think it's important for at least you to see it. If you, I'm telling you guys right now, this is graphic as fuck. Search it up on your own. This is your only warning. If you are not into horror or anything like that, do not look this up.
Oh, oh good. I signed in from the John Squared account without trying. Don't know how to even didn't put a password in. I'm gonna tweet obscenities.
um,
That
but yeah,
is dead.
we're gonna get John's reaction, and then we will. Then I'll give the story.
Oh! What the fuck? Oh my god!
Okay. Okay. Um. So
Oh no,
essentially,
someone used the Dwight meme!
dude, that's actually
No!
perfect. That's so perfect. So the video is, um,
Bro!
someone using a razor and she's cutting someone's
Oh!
face off, the skin around her face, and like peeling it off. We're gonna have to let John recover from this before. So this was also very controversial on. I have a hard time saying that word. I guess. Um,
Someone said they've seen worse. Fuck off! That's fucking awful! Oh my god!
so I'm thinking we're gonna have different opinions on this. All right, so I'm gonna read the post that was made
Don't tell me you want it in!
on Saturday from the Martha's Dead developers, Wired Productions. It says Martha is Dead PlayStation update. Martha is Dead is a narrative adventure recommended for adult audiences only, with play consisting of potentially discomforting scenes and themes that may distress some players. Both Wire Productions and LKA have always been open and honest about Martha's Dead content, with the sensitive depictions and play consistently communicated with the media since the game was announced in 2019. This content is also flagged clearly and repeatedly within the game itself before play begins. It is with regret that we have had to modify the experience on PS5 and PS4 versions, with some elements no longer playable. After over 4 years of passion and hard work, developer LKA now requires extra time to make these unplanned changes. Martha is Dead, as a result, will launch digitally on both PS5 and PS4 on Thursday, February 24th, 2022, but the physical retail release will be to a yet to be disclosed date. Although we anticipate this to only be a small number of weeks, our physical edition will still contain the bonus content of a double sided poster, digital tarot cards, and Martha's Dead digital EP. We will update players with the date we ship this edition as soon as we have the information. The PC and Xbox version of Martha is Dead are both unaffected by these developments and will launch with the full unedited gameplay as planned. So a an argument on censorship began on Saturday. People for and against this. I, I have a feeling like that I know where you're going with this, but what are your thoughts on this?
That was vile. I think that's worse than The Last of Us. I That was awful. The Last of Us doesn't show the golf club going through Jill's skull. It shows him bloody and then her swing, and that it doesn't show the aftermath.
Yeah, so that
That
was
that
that was a comparison being drawn, obviously, because it's a PlayStation game, one of the more
Yeah,
graphic
but I
things
mean,
that we've
and
seen
that's
on
the
there.
thing is like they don't show it. If they showed it, it'd be a different discussion. I get the Mortal Kombat one. I guess is more understandable because they show wild shit, but that's always done like purely in fantasy. You know what I mean? That was graphic and realistic, and even to like, I mean, I guess content warning. What I'm about to say, I think you already said it though. When he peeled her face off, like that was vile.
Yeah,
And
so it is like
I the
ultra
censorship thing
realistic.
is yeah, the censorship thing is like I don't think it's necessarily censorship. That's just fucking vile. And like maybe it has a point in the story or something, but just seeing it, like, because I don't know much about this game, just seeing that's awful. I wouldn't want that in a game. I wouldn't want to see that.
So that's kind of the point that I thought was okay. So it's and you don't like horror games. Those aren't. It's not really for you. I. This is what ratings are for, and they say I don't know what it looks like, but it says this content is also flagged clearly and repeatedly within the game itself before it begins.
But that could be like how in No Russian they just say like this mission is graphic. If you'd like to skip it, plus this. You know what I mean? Like that could be the warning.
But okay, so
But it doesn't. That doesn't.
is that not good enough?
No, not when it's that. No, that's disgusting.
I
Like there's a lot of shit that I can like tolerate and put up with and stuff. Like even Resident Evil 7, I got scared, but I wasn't like disgusted. You know what I mean? Like it was just like it was jump scary and I don't like that. That's the reason I don't like horror games. I don't like being jump scared. That's not being jump scared. That's gross.
I don't know.
That's just graphic for the sake of being graphic.
I don't think I think that there's a reason for it. I think it plays into what the game is. I just think that there a warning, like they said, it needs to come up before you purchase the game. Like this has what I don't even know what repulsive
Distressing.
um like
So like and
this is
my I guess
ultra graphic. This is your warning that this is a super graphic game, and I, that's just what ratings are for. I don't so like your reaction like I was like oh, but I was sitting next to Steve-O Spaghettio. I was sitting next to him on the couch and I was like watch this, and this dude straight faced it. Like I cringed, but this dude was just like yeah, like that's gross, but so it's just that's what this shit's for. That's what that's I
uh,
just don't think I don't think it should be censored. Um,
and that's like I'm not man, I don't know. Anyways, I don't know. That was just that's all. That's the most graphic thing I think I've seen in just like a narrative game.
yeah, but like, I feel like we've seen things like that in horror movies. Um, so I just don't
I
know
mean,
why it wouldn't have a place in games, right? Like I just,
when games get or when movies get like that, Green Inferno, that
hmm
wasn't rated R. That was rated what it like what is the one past that?
I don't know. I'm looking it up.
Um okay. Like I'm almost positive it got past being
It
rated R because it was so graphic.
it's rated R.
Is it?
hmm Um, but that, but
That was this.
everyone knew what that was going into it. When we went to see that movie in the theater, and we were the only people in the theater, uh,
Yeah.
if you're gonna make something like that, you have to understand that it's not for you're gonna end up with
Well,
with showing times with two people in the theater. You're gonna end up with maybe
well,
a
yeah,
handful
and
of
that's
people only wanting to
I
play
think
it.
what year did that come out? Can you see it? Is it still in front of you?
I can get it again.
I think it was we were like what?
2013.
So we were oh my god, we saw them when we were 18?
Yeah,
Oh my, I thought we were older.
yo,
I mean,
chill,
that's the
bro.
like 8 18-year-old John and 27-year-old John are two different people. Like they 18-year-old John would be like, they would look at this and laugh. 27-year-old John says that's disgusting. I don't like that.
So it's
And
just not for you. So just
and
because
like
it's not for you,
that's
like
why
no one should get to play it.
well no, and that's why I'm having a hard time saying like that's why I've been saying I don't want to see that. I haven't said I agree with censorship for that reason. For me, this isn't for me. This is if anything, this just told me this game is like I'm not gonna play this game. I'm passing over it.
Yeah, and that's fine. And they had the people who developed this game need to accept that's.
But
But also,
if
PlayStation needs to accept it. I'm sure
the
they've
thing is,
accepted it.
if I bought this game, if I looked at shit and they just kind of they warned, but they didn't explicitly say like this was gonna happen, and I bought this and I played it and got to that, I would be upset. I'd be upset to be caught off guard by something like that.
Yeah, I would be interested to see what the exact
Warning is.
warnings, the flagging
Yeah.
and stuff. Um, you would think it would have to be like you don't want to spoil what's happening, but at the same time, you like I don't know you have to say what's going on in some kind of vague sense. But yeah, I just think it's shitty that they have to alter their game. Um,
So the only warning I can see is that they said potentially discomforting scenes and themes that may distress some players. So the generic warning, which for me that's not enough for something like that. And then they got the rated M warning for intense violence, blood, gore, sexual themes, partial nudity, strong language, which is again every scary game.
they did say that it was repeatedly within the game as well. So that's what I'm saying. Where I would have to see
Well,
what that is
yeah.
exactly.
So from like a quick Google search, that's what I can find. Is that was the only warning they gave is like there's potentially distressing images and shit. And it's like if there's more, this is a different conversation. If that's it, that's not enough.
Yeah, I don't know. I just still I think it's shitty. Um, but yeah, censorship is always whenever something like this comes up, it's
It's
always a touchy
touchy.
topic for sure.
Yeah. Which is why
When
I'm not committing either way to censoring or not. Because I don't know. I know it's not for me.
yeah. Next up we have February Game Pass games. This is from the Xbox Twitter account. This is coming soon. Is Mass Effect Legendary Edition on cloud. Lawn Mowing Simulator on console.
Let's go.
Madden 22 on console and PC. Uh, then we have Galactic Civilizations on PC. Warhammer 3 on PC. RoboQuest on PC. I can't see
It's an
this.
Alice in Wonderland game.
Yeah,
That's I mean
that's on PC, and then a baseball game. That's not MLB the Show. I don't know what it is.
Alice Madness Returns.
Yeah, so
And
that's what we're getting.
uh Super Mega Baseball 3.
I'm glad you can see it. I don't know why my screen is like I
Oh, I just zoomed in.
um yeah, it's just an underwhelming month, I think, after
What the fuck are you talking about? Lawn mowing simulator.
Mm-hmm.
You're passing
Yeah.
your fucking speech impediment on to me, you piece of
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this month
If you
sucks.
if you don't try that, it's gonna be so fun.
I'm all set.
Oh my god, you are so all right. You're okay with a woman getting her face chopped off, but not with mowing the lawn. I see how it is,
I don't need to simulate it. I have to do it in real life. So it's not
and it's
like
fun. You
no,
enjoy it.
it's not. I hate it. Um
Unreal.
yeah, it's just obviously underwhelming, but after the January that we just had, it's hard to really complain.
What do we get in January?
I believe that's when Mass Effect came. Then we got um Rainbow
Rock and Stone.
Six Extraction, which was it was a day one launch, so
Yeah, I don't care. It
it's
was a
hard.
bad game. I don't care about that.
Um, it wasn't. It
All
was not bad.
I, mm, I, I think Mass Effect very good, incredible.
Oh,
We'll talk about that more soon.
Hitman 3. Actually, like all Hitman, Death's Door. So the Hitman trilogy is what I was saying.
Okay,
Uh,
so I guess that's why I did because like I didn't play any of those games.
downloaded a shit ton of them. But just Mass Effect ate up my entire month of gaming.
Are you done? Did you finish Mass Effect 3? No.
No,
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm going to find the time.
You have to do it in the next. You have to do it tomorrow, basically. Have fun.
Yeah, you're right. Because
I also have to finish it
then
tomorrow.
we're recording the show sometime next week. So yeah, that's
See,
gonna be tough.
technically, you have until next week,
No, I don't.
but yeah, you have until Friday because Friday morning you're gonna be playing Horizon.
Yeah, I took Friday off.
Yeah,
So
I figured.
I will be fucking gaming, bro. It'll be
That's
I'll
dude.
wake up at 8 and I will be
That's Saturday and Sunday probably
yeah
all day.
same. Yep. I'm putting in a full time hours this Friday, Saturday,
And
Sunday.
this is for you people, so we can do reviews and
Yeah,
stuff. You
uh-huh.
know, we're dedicated
Right.
to the craft. This is all for you. That's not for us. We don't do
Using
this for us.
my
You think it's
personal
okay to
time.
neglect our loved ones, our friends and family? It's not. But we have to do it for you people.
Yep. So just you guys should really feel grateful. Do what Brave Toad did and Twitch Prime sub.
Sub to the Patreon. It's right here. You see that over my head? Right over Danny DeVito. You see that ham? I can't. This is pissing me off. I don't know directions. You see the ham? Fuck. Fuck.
You got to get
That
better at
ham?
that, bro.
Dude, I don't know left from right. Uh that's gonna be you if you don't sub to that.
Next up,
Next, okay.
Nintendo.
Yeah.
Nintendo
Thank you.
Nintendo is discontinuing Wii U and 3DS eShop. Just more food for you, John. More food. So yeah, this is from the Nintendo website. It says as of late March 2023, it will no longer be possible to make purchases in Nintendo eShop for the Wii U system and the Nintendo 3DS family of systems. It will also no longer be possible to download free content, including game demos. Furthermore, as this date draws closer, related services will cease to function. As of May 23rd, 2022, it will no longer be possible to use a credit card to add funds to an account in the Nintendo eShop for the Wii U or 3DS. As of August 29th, 2022, it will no longer be possible to use Nintendo eShop cards to add funds to an account in the Nintendo eShop for the Wii U or 3DS systems. However, it will
Didn't
still be possible to redeem download codes until March 2023.
okay, so it's kind of the same thing, but different. I was gonna say it sounded like you repeated yourself, but it's just uh basically the same thing. Anyways, yeah, I mean, fuck them. 3DS, it makes no sense to get rid of the 3DS store because that's still yes, it is old, but like Wii U makes sense, 3DS doesn't. Either way, fuck them. I mean, there's no reason for this.
The Wii U, it's still your last generation,
Yeah,
and so like when the next Switch comes out, then I would understand.
Yeah.
you know, dropping that. The 3DS, I think a game released in 2019 or 2020 for it, as it was some like indie game. It wasn't a big release, but you have so many players that console sold so many units. I think it's a little too early to drop support for that. Um,
So Pokemon Sun and Moon dropped 6 years ago. It dropped after Mario Kart 8. Uh, that's a 3DS game, and I know that games came after that. This is too soon for 3DS. Wii U, I get because I feel like that's like a specialized thing, but I mean it works with the Switch, so it makes no fucking sense.
um, I think
I
it's really
guess,
shitty. I think it's shitty to cut support for both of
dude.
these. I understand the Wii U a little bit more than the 3DS, but
Yeah,
still,
it
uh,
the fuck that I'm so fucking sick of them, dude. And it's like I get it's a joke here and it's like a bit at this point, but
yeah,
fuck them.
right.
They're just fucking greedy pieces of shit, more so than most other companies. I'm so fucking sick of them. It's not worth the games that they put out.
The interesting thing to me was I don't know if you remember this, but last year, sometime last year, or maybe it was the year before, maybe it was
I
2020,
don't remember last week. So
PlayStation announced that they were stopping uh,
PS3.
PS3, PS Vita, and PSP. They were shutting those stores down. And people went fucking berserk, and Sony backtracked. We were like, okay, we'll keep
Yeah.
them open for a little bit more. And I really haven't seen a lot of shit about this. Like, and there are way more people with a 3DS than a fucking
I
PSP or a PS Vita right now.
I think it's because uh maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like Nintendo people are like a cult and they will never if Nintendo says something, they're not going to go against it. They're just going to defend it. Whereas PlayStation people are going to say this is fucked up. Like I still use my PS3, I still use my PS Vita. You can't get rid of them. And then Sony will listen. Nintendo, even if they did complain, would say go fuck yourself.
They just wouldn't say anything at all, which is essentially saying go fuck yourself. But yeah. Um. So I meant for this to more be like a PSA, but I did have I saw this tweet when I was scrolling through. Some dude named Dreamcast guy on Twitter
Uh
said, if a company won't sell you a game, pirate it. And so that's
Amen.
agree or disagree. You obviously
Yeah.
agree.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, no, 100, especially with Nintendo, fuck them. If they're not going to make their games available, okay, your games will be available somewhere else and you won't get paid for it.
yeah.
Like I that it's as simple as that. If you're gonna prevent your customer from giving you money for it, your customer is just going to get it for free on the internet. I mean, simple as that. You tell them to go fuck themselves, they'll tell you to go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I think stealing is really cool. Um,
Amen.
when you if it's like virtual hoodie weather. It's you know you walk into Walmart and you stick the Axe deodorant in your hoodie and you walk out. It's the perfect. See, I mean, granted, Walmart is willing to sell you that, and Nintendo's just not. So it's not a direct comparison, but stealing is just really cool. So, yeah, I
Uh,
agree with this.
uh, just got word from the lawyers in our ear. We're not promoting stealing. We would never do that. But hypothetically speaking, uh,
Stealing from your local Walmart
may or may not be cool.
is cool.
May or may not, for legal purposes, be cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
Pirating
So
games may or may not be cool. That's pretty sick though.
yeah, uh,
Doing crime is fun. All right,
yeah.
being
Um,
horny isn't a crime.
amen. That's one of the pillars of our show.
Stealing from
Uh,
Walmart isn't a crime.
you- we went from may or may not be, and then to just full on committing to it
Yeah,
now.
I'm ignoring the lawyers. We're
Oh,
good.
okay, got you. All right, last up for the news, we have Sonic. The Hedgehog 3 movie and Knuckles spinoff is on the way. This is from Austin Gosling at Polygon. Article goes like this. He says Sonic 2 is set to come out this April, and the tiny blue hedgehog is already speeding toward a sequel. Paramount announced on Tuesday that Sonic 3 is already in development, along with a Paramount Plus series centered around Knuckles that will star Idris Elba. Sonic 2 is already set to expand the world in the movie franchise, bringing in Tails and Knuckles from the video game series, or from the video games. Of course, Sonic himself will also return, along with Jim Carrey's Doctor Jim Carrey's evil Doctor Robotnik, and James Marsden's Tom. With the sequel still several months away, it is hard to say what part 3 of Sonic's live action adventures Sonic adventures might include. Also on the way, Sonic Universe and a new series all about Knuckles, the Enchilada, will stream on Paramount Plus. Once again, Paramount didn't get into any details of the series, but we know that Idris Elba, who voices Knuckles in Sonic 2, will be back for the series. The series is set to launch in 2023. John, I have another agree or disagree.
Let's go. Oh,
You
pumped to
clipped
get a
out
Knuckles series.
you clipped out a little bit, but yeah, so I was gonna say agree or disagree. Let's fucking go.
Oh, okay.
So
Sorry.
yeah,
Jump the
no,
punches. You're fine.
I'm so excited for this dude. Um I just want as much Sonic as possible. I and you know what I'm gonna ask for, but I'm begging you.
Let's see them fuck.
I no, I am begging you
Okay, sorry.
for in part 3 Shadow the Hedgehog. I
Yeah,
give him a gun. Um,
hang on.
it, whatever we have to do
Hold
to
on.
get him in this movie, please, please.
You
I
you almost had me.
put a pistol in his hand, put a Glock in his hand, and
Come
let
on.
him run around at the speed of sound, and expose Sonic for the faker that he is. Um,
I definitely think. Well, first and foremost, uh, I'm hoping that Knuckles gets like the series is just a backstory and he'll be in Sonic 3.
yeah, yeah.
But
I think that's what it
I
is.
do believe that um I cannot think of who else would be in Sonic 3 as the antagonist, if not either
Metal Sonic.
yeah, Metal Sonic or Shadow the Hedgehog.
It has to. It has to be. So yeah,
And I think
I
if they want people to keep seeing these, they're going to add in fan favorites, and Shadow is a fan favorite.
it's my favorite. It's all these are day one for me. I'm excited for the show. Yeah, man, I fucking
This
love Sonic.
I mean, so beginning of pandemic, Sonic was the last movie I saw in
Yep.
theaters.
Yep.
Uh, Sonic 2 will probably be the first movie I see in theaters again post
Let's
pandemic
go,
on
baby.
release day.
Yeah, man.
Corvid allowing it, you know.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I just can't fucking wait, man. I fucked with the first movie so hard. I understand, that a lot of people are saying how it wasn't that great and it was overrated. Fuck off. Um,
Who said that? I think I said it at one point.
a
I take
lot
it
of
back
people
though.
who just don't love Sonic as much as me. So,
That's
um,
fair.
yeah, I can't wait. This Idris Elba is gonna be is from the clips that we've seen so far has been so good as Knuckles, and I just
Dude,
think he is going to fucking kill it, dude. Um,
I was skeptical about the casting at first. Uh, Not skeptical. I just thought he was going to be British, and like he doesn't sound British. Because if Knuckles like boy, then I'm not watching that movie.
Is this hedgehog doing around here?
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm not watching that. No
yeah,
shot.
no,
But like,
I'm out as
I'm
well.
watching this.
Yeah. Maybe we'll have a podcast around that. We'll give a Sonic 2 review. Um,
Oh, and not maybe. That's not a maybe. That is a definite.
yeah, that's
We might
um,
actually on Patreon do a watch along for the Knuckles series.
yeah, I don't know how that would work, but just keep a lookout. Keep a lookout on the socials. All right, John, that's it for the news.
That is it
What
for
have
the news.
what have you been playing this week?
Not much. Sifu. I mean, Sifu, and that's made me want to not play video games. Quite honestly, I have
Um,
been playing a little bit more Skyrim. I'm trying to. I think I talked about this last week. I'm going to do a series of games that I have publicly trashed. Skyrim is number one on the list. I'm trying to get to like past like the opening thing where you see the first dragon, and then I'm gonna jump in. But man, I'm already so disinterested.
how?
I do have mods on, and mods make it funny. I am a demigod, so I stamina barely runs out, barely take damage, one hit kills on most things.
Well, oh my god, bro, you're ruining the experience.
Maybe for you, not for me. I also have a thing where it's supposed to be a community approved mod where you can kiss NPCs, but all it really does is show your character like smash into them, and then the screen goes black, and then it'll show a different angle, and then the screen goes black, and then you both stand up off the ground. It's very funny. My computer
It's,
crashes after every like 15 minutes.
it sounds like you're having a blast, bro.
Yeah.
um, yeah, I've also been playing Sifu. I am at the final boss.
Oh, I'm
Um,
still at two.
I'm not. I'm still like 55 at the final boss. Um, so like so right now, and this is even when I played the second boss. I was telling myself, bro, there's no way we're ever beating this. There's just simply no shot we're fucking beating this game. Beating this boss, and that's where I'm at right now with the final one. I've had like 4 attempts. Um, it's nice though because after you go through the level, you get you get a shortcut to kind of get there a little bit quicker. Um, I just feel so defeated.
Defeated? Yeah.
Although I will say, the fourth boss, I went through and I beat her in my first try. Um, and I died twice, once during the level and once during the fight, but I went through and it wasn't overly difficult. So I started to feel like good about myself. I'm like, oh, maybe I'm good at this game now. What I'm probably all set, you know. And I go
No.
through, I clean the entire last level. I died once during the regular level. And then I get to the final boss, and he is just cooking me. His damage, you do such little damage to him, and you cannot focus. You can't focus attack him, which is like I got in a real groove with people, like taking them out that way, and you can't do it to him at all. So it's just like
Whoa.
it's
Why
just
not?
that. Don't know. Doesn't
I don't
say.
like that.
When you go to do it, he goes, like nice try or something like that, or don't even bother. I'm just like,
If I if I can't poke somebody in the eyes, I am not playing.
bro, or the sweep. The sweep is like the
Dude,
biggest. That's been my main thing in this game.
I I play this game like Three Stooges. If anyone gets too close to me, just ah.
Just this is a nice palm strike. Um, the thing is, like this game really it does beat your ass.
I
But
got to Oh, go ahead.
for me, it's like when I die, I'm like, oh, I know that I can do this. Like I know what I have to do. It's just that I cannot do it. And it's like I okay. one more try. And then it literally is like an hour and a half later, and I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
no, seriously, this is the last one. And then I still will do one more. I have to really limit myself because I believe it was Sunday morning. I got up and I was playing it, and I started at like 9:30, and I was like, it got to like 11, and I was like, all right, I I'm I'm getting cooked. I'm getting frustrated. That's another thing is when I feel myself getting super frustrated, I get so much worse. I get so much more aggressive and way less patient. So I know that I have to take a break, and it was like around 11:30, and I was like, all right, I really have to get off this game. And then the next thing I know, I look at my phone and it's 1 o'clock, and I'm like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
But yeah, I it's weird because I really have been enjoying it.
Well,
And I
that's
and
my thing
I'm
is like
Go ahead.
I I fucking love the gameplay.
Yeah.
It's just so hard. I think I don't know if this is a spoiler or not. I got to a point where like in level 2 where you kind of meet just one guy like one on one. I don't think he's got a shirt on. He's got like scans wrapped and shit. I think it's like the halfway point of the level.
Wait. The guy with the big stick.
No.
Oh,
No. He's just a guy. He's got like a I think like a bandana or something on his head. It's like halfway through level 2, I believe. I've gotten to him twice, and I feel like I get in a rhythm, and then he just beats my ass.
when you like walk in this doorway, and then there's four doors in the hallway, and they all open at once, and she's the woman's like prepared to be tested, or something like that, and then all the doors open.
I haven't. I haven't gotten to that yet. I don't think.
I'm trying to think of where you are then.
It's probably right before that. I will say on our Twitch stream, I don't know if you can see it. We just got an ad for Horizon underneath our our faces. At least on my screen. And for those thinking we're watching our own streams, I'm just watching it to make sure everything's going smoothly. Either way, yeah, so my bad, I didn't mean to derail us. uh yeah, it's probably right before that. It's just you and one other guy in a room.
Hmm.
But it's not the boss. There is like a small like cutscene sort of thing where you're like, let's make this quick. But it's not the boss.
Yeah. So I've only played through that level a couple times before I unlock the shortcut, and then I kind of just go through to get to
I
that
didn't know there was
one.
a shortcut.
Well, you have to
So
make it through that point to get there.
that's what yeah. Which is why I assume this is the halfway point, but I got to it twice. It took me like a decent amount of time. I was like, I'm not gonna do this to myself. Like
Oh, how old are you?
I
How old are you at the end of the first?
20 no, 32.
Okay.
So like I'm not terribly old, but I think I'm gonna have to redo the first and get it down to like
Yeah.
24, which fucking pisses me off.
Yeah. I got to 23 and I was like, that's good enough for me to move on. The second one, I just kept going and going and just praying I could get down. I think it was like 38 or something like that, and I was like, that seems like it's about as good as I can get. The third boss, her first phase, because every boss has two phases.
Yeah.
Her first phase, I I just for some reason I could not stop it. She killed me so many times. But then her second phase, I beat in my first try every single time. I um
Well,
for
the f-
a fair like a tip for anyone who's going to the third boss, make sure you have the ability to catch weapons. It helps
oh,
a ton.
dude, I
um
got that almost off rip because I there were so many times where like in the first level where I'd walk in a room and just get blindsided by a bottle. It was pissing me
yeah,
off.
yeah.
So I unlocked that
So
ability as soon as I could. So like as soon as I walk in a room, I hit it just in case
yeah,
someone's
that's
throwing some
what
shit at me. It's not
I
hitting me.
wanted to ask you, because I did text you this. There are parts of this game that feel like artificially difficult, or like cheap in a way, where it's like
Yeah,
you're getting a brick thrown at you from off the screen,
yeah.
or like I don't know. I feel like there are some points where you're vulnerable and you can't like dodge or you can't hit or
There's
something like that.
there in the first level, you know where you drop like there's the two people on like the staircase and you drop down into the room full of people.
Yes.
And like three of them have weapons.
Yeah.
My first playthrough, I'd drop in and I would try to lure them out. The three with weapons would come at me first from like different angles, and each one would like swing in succession, so I couldn't parry all of
Yeah.
them. I would just start taking shots,
Yeah.
and
You would
while that's
have
happening, the rest are coming to get me.
right. You have to just like um
Run.
not like avoid, you have to like dodge, like you have to hold L1 and dodge, because
Yeah,
there's the thing that I found is that if someone's coming, a group of people are coming at you with a weapon, especially like a bat or a stick, and they swing at you and you dodge, they'll swing and hit the people next to them, and that will give you an opportunity to do a finisher or something like that. But it's
all I did was
really, go ahead.
I unlocked the thing where you can kick shit,
Yes,
and
there's
I would run around the room till I found one and just kick it into a group, and then I
yeah,
would keep doing that until I got them all.
that's the most important skill. Other than maybe focus sweep, those are the two that are like
Yeah,
I you have to have. Um, but I just feel like some of it is just like I can't think of a better word for it, but it just feels like it's like cheap, like cheap
yeah.
difficulty. So
There's certain parts where, like, things are hitting you from off screen and there's nothing you can do about it unless, like, you're anticipating it.
yeah,
And, like, you could be a split second off from that, like, your anticipation could be slightly off because they might throw it a second later or notice you a second later, and it's that sort of thing I'm not big on, but,
yeah,
like, when you kinda know that's why and this is not the way I think you're supposed to play it, I guess, but, like, my first run through a level, I know is a wash. Like, I know I'm restarting it.
I kind of feel the same way, I guess. Bless you.
Because I thank you. I'm just trying to, like, see what's coming up to the point where, like, I can't get past, like, a
Yeah,
certain whatever. But, like, it because if not, you're gonna get blindsided, you're gonna get hit.
yeah. It Yeah, it's dude, it's just so fucking good though. Like
Yeah.
it's the amount of times that I've done the second level, and even there's certain points in the last one, but like the club when I walk in, when I know the first thing I do when I go down those stairs in the club is I jump that desk before I don't even answer him. I jump the desk and I hard strike him twice, knock him out before those two, because if you talk to him, he'll say, "Guys," and then you have to fight all three of them at once. So I jump that thing, I hit him, then I go behind the. If you go from behind the counter, there's a stick there, so you get the weapon.
Yeah.
You take those guys out really quick. Open the door. I run up to the Taylor Swift looking bitch right away and knock her ass out. And then I try to lure them all one by one. So like the amount of times you like play something, like I can literally just visualize it because I've done it so many times and just trying to get that perfect run. Um, I
See,
really do. I love it, dude. It's so good.
I have a different approach. The second level, my approach was I talk to the guy, and then I'll hop the counter and beat the shit out of him after the other two are coming, and then I'll just keep hopping the counter back and forth, and every time I hop it and they're a little bit
Nice.
like, slower, throw a punch,
Nice.
hop back over, throw a punch. I'll just keep going
Yeah.
because they just keep chasing you, and they'll come one at a time.
Yeah. I think that it's cool because there are the skills kind of give you a different way to play the
Yeah.
game, where you can be really aggressive and just parry everything or attempt to parry everything, but if you miss then you're getting your ass kicked, then you're just done.
Yeah.
So or
Well,
there's
I'm
the conquer and divide sort of thing where I'm gonna take one at a time, try to get him over here, and then hit him, take him out, and then keep luring them away, just using space around you and stuff like that.
I utilize like the weapon stuff. I try so like that situation. You say you grab the weapon and take those guys out. I like to save that for the next room so that it has like it's perfectly intact. But when you go like when there's a group of people, I'll try to focus on one, knock them down to like what you can do like the finisher thing on them, and I'll save that for like the last second because usually someone else will swing, and if you hit that while someone else is swinging, they don't touch you, so you can take them out, gain some focus, do it to the next person. And do it that way, so, like, you're kinda it's kinda cheating in a way because like, you're just not getting hit, but, like, I
you learn that though, like when you're
well,
doing
yeah,
a finisher, or if you're holding circle and just ground pounding somebody, you're invincible at that point. You can't be
yeah,
touched.
and
So
that's I mean, that's the thing with you and I, we have very different play styles, which is why a game
right,
like this is fun and I almost said funner. It's more fun to talk about because, like, we are gonna approach it from different angles.
right. Um, Although like there are similarities between what we're doing. Um, they are ultimately like because I think I started when I started playing, I played a little bit more like how you were, but I kind of I what I realized for myself was I for me to be confident, I have to just learn. The problem is I still just don't when I walk into a room, I still don't feel confident. Like I never feel like a badass. I never feel like I know that I'm going to take people out. Even when I do, I'm just like, oh man, the next big guy I see, I one false move and you're fucking dead, especially when you
The
get older and your health is lower.
the only time I play, like, scared is when there's big guys around. There's the one part of the club where there's the 2 big guys, like, guarding the door,
Yeah,
and that part got me the first playthrough because I was just trying to, like, avoid them, but there's only so much space,
yeah,
and, like, their
yeah.
range is so big that, like, you can't go anywhere. So I'd start kicking stools at their feet and trying to just ground and pound one and then run
Right.
away and
Dude, weapons and using your environment is like the most important
oh,
part of
every
this game.
bottle I see is getting thrown.
Yeah.
Every single one.
Yeah. Yeah, so I really have been enjoying Sifu. I did play Mass Effect a little bit last week. Um, Still have really been enjoying that, but yeah, you're right. We have to get this done so we can talk about it
We could always
in
do
our
Mass
pod.
Effect 1 and 2 and then just,
I don't know how much
save
longer I
3
have,
for a
but
different month.
I will try my damnedest to get that done. So last thing that I wanted to talk about, it's not really video game related, but I did watch on Saturday the first two Spider-Man movies from the Sam Raimi trilogy.
Oh, how did they age well?
So they definitely aged like
That makes sense.
there are some like parts, but they get a lot of shit for and they're actually I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching both those movies. I did not watch the third. I understand what the third is. Um
I man, I like the 3rd, quite honestly, but either way, it's just weird that Toby Warner is like 30 in those movies,
I don't
and,
care.
like, he's
It's
supposed to be
like
playing, like, a 16-year-old, and it's weird to me in that aspect.
um I I don't know. I feel like the Sam Raimi trilogy is like Nickelback. I feel like a couple people started shitting on them, so then it became like the popular thing to do, but they actually
Well,
put out some bangers. So I that's just where I
there's
stand with it.
I mean, well, I'm kind of a scientist myself, and
Legendary.
the well, it's funny. I don't know if it was intentional.
It's
It's funny.
legendary.
And there's the dance scene in 3. Like, there's
Right.
weird shit in them.
Just
Like,
like there was weird shit in Nickelback songs, Nickelback albums.
I mean, Nickelback is I will never I'll never shit on Nickelback.
I'm
I'm
saying
a
they put out hits, bro, and people want to deny it, but the I just think
I
they're
so
good.
and this is for the public or so I can shame you, but this is coming from the person that refuses to watch Lord of the Rings, arguably the greatest film trilogy of all time. So I don't know if your opinion really, is one that I will ever agree with, you know?
Mm.
Like, I don't
Yeah,
think you're the right judge,
that's
respectfully.
that's kind of crazy. Um, no, I just wanted to bring those up. I don't know why. I just you know,
I, yeah, I haven't watched anything. I mean, nothing new. I have watched new shit. I haven't watched anything old. I don't like old movies either.
It wasn't planned. It wasn't like, hey, I'm gonna watch these. We were like scrolling through the TV channels, and they were on. And actually, it was weird. So we watched the second one. The second one was on first. We watched that, and then watched the first one. Um,
Second one's goated. You know, I have
it
nothing bad to say about the second one.
Yeah.
First and third
Hey, and
are mid.
so even though everyone kind of shit on these movies, I remember them fondly because they were, the first Spider-Man movies that I saw when I was younger. Uh, Kirsten
Yeah,
Dunst was my first
babe.
true love. I was in love with her when I was 7 when this movie came out. I she dude, bro, the upside down, obviously the upside down kiss. It's just like
Dude,
maybe my first
20
boner.
years
I don't know. Uh,
20 years ago?
yeah, bro. Yeah.
Mine was for sure Janet Jackson on the cover of Rolling Stone. Uh, but I Kirsten Dunst still a babe.
This week on the John Squared Game Show, our first erection stories. Um,
Patreon exclusive.
dude, I I don't know. Like I said, I don't know why I felt like I wanted to bring this up, but I just feel like they got a lot of shit, and I still think obviously they've aged a little bit, but I think they hold up still. I still think they're really good, and that the
I'm
ending of Spider-Man 1,
good.
where the Godspeed Spider-Man, and he fucking backflips, and then he Goblin fucking kills himself. Like, oh, dude, I don't know. It's good.
That
I don't
so
care if
the ending,
anyone disagrees, but
the
yeah,
only parts of one that I can like actually remember being good, and that's not to say the whole movie isn't good. I haven't watched them in like 15 years. Like the only part I can distinctly remember being good are all the scenes between Peter and Norman when like they know who the other one is.
yeah. Or when he finds out
Yeah,
when they're at
when they're like
Thanksgiving
at
dinner.
dinner. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
I
dude.
mean I mean William Dafoe is an incredible Green
Yeah,
Goblin. I
large
think he
cock.
stole the show in that movie. That he actually does have a big dick from what
I know.
I've
Yeah,
read on the internet.
that's I yeah yeah.
Okay.
That's
I just
why
didn't know
I
if you were
said it.
saying like, you know,
No, yeah, no. I just something
he's
that
got a
I
fat
knew.
cock.
Yeah.
Shout out his cock.
Shout out William Defoe and his cock. And on that note, we're gonna end the show.
There we
Uh,
go.
thank you guys for tuning in. Look forward to whatever the fuck we talk about next week. But until then, stay horny, stay hydrated. Peace.